It is time for our chick update, our weekly chick update. They are 2 weeks old and 1 day. They were 2 weeks old yesterday, but I received them in the mail 2 weeks ago today. Today is Wednesday, September 6th, I believe. If I'm wrong, I will put a little tag on here. I last year kept notes of everything that I did with the chicks so that I could kind of do the same thing every year, and so I don't forget, because my memory is terrible from one year to the next. And in my notes from last year, it stated that I let the chicks out that door into their yard at 2 weeks old. I did not, however, note the temperature last year. But this year it is 55 degrees today outside as a high, and it was raining this morning. So as you can see, they are not fully feathered out yet, and they still require a heat lamp. So it is just too cold to let them outside yet. So I will either have to wait until we have a warmer day, or they are completely feathered out before I can let them outside into their yard. But their pen, their brooder house here, needed cleaning desperately. It was horrible. So this morning, Travis and I worked together, and I put up, you can kind of see the difference between the light wood chips and the darker wood chips. The darker wood chips, I didn't clean that section out because for the most part, the chicks stay pretty much in this area by the food, the water, and the heat. So they don't, that back part there wasn't that dirty. So what I did is I put up a barrier back there, and then about half the chicks, I would say, were already back over there. But then I had to physically pick up every chick and put it over the barrier into that section so that we could take this board down and shovel this out and put new fresh wood chips down. We took the board out. We keep this board here to try to keep the water cleaner, to keep wood chips out of it. You can see there's a few chips in it, but it really does work to keep the waterers on a flat surface that doesn't have wood chips. It does keep it cleaner. Look at those crazy chickens. But anyway, so we took that board out. It gets covered in poop, so we had to scrape it off and spray it off and clean it off, and put fresh wood chips down, took the barrier down, and here we go. They got a nice clean home. At this age, we have to clean this brooder house out once a week. As they grow, we'll have to clean them out twice a week. But right now, once a week is sufficient. I'm hoping that by next week, when I do their 3-week update, it will either be warmer out or they will be completely feathered out, so that we can just put them out in the yard, the outside yard, and clean the entire house out. One of the keys to raising healthy chicks is to keep their environment clean, make sure they have plenty of food and fresh water and the right temperature, and you can grow really healthy chicks. And as you can see, they're very active, very healthy, and they're growing like crazy. We have one chick, it's that one right there, that's standing on top of the brooder, or on top of the feeder, I should say, who is way smaller than the rest. We had one last year that was that way. It didn't grow properly. We tried to, if you remember, I shared in videos, we tried to keep her, and, we didn't butcher her. We just tried to keep her as like a pet, but she only lived for a few months after the butchering time. She lived probably up until January or February. Woo! See, they're trying to jump out. You crazy thing. And then she just died. So this breed is just not meant to be kept. So if she survives till breeding time, or he, whichever it is, we will dispose of her then. We probably won't put her in the freezer. It looks like she has something wrong with her leg. She walks kind of weird. So it was either a birth defect or an injury, but, you know, that's what happens. And if we only lose one, then that is a really good ratio. Okay, so that's the update on my chicks for their second week of life. Now I want to show you something else on this video that's kind of been a problem that we've had in the last month or so. Okay, I'm at the end of my driveway. There's my driveway. And you see all of this dead? It goes all the way down to about there. And I can't really show you because the sun is so bright, but right up there are the power lines. About 6 weeks ago or so, my dad had 2 goats, and one was a little girl, and she had always been kind of small and not sickly, but she just was kind of small. And then we have the big buck, Reinhardt, and we don't know what happened, whether he got a little bit rough and kind of whacked her or what happened, but she was kind of doing poorly, and so we kind of segregated her out away from the big buck and was giving her some extra TLC, making sure she had plenty to eat, and she was doing better. She was on the mend. Well, amongst all of this dead stuff were young sassafras trees, and goats love sassafras. And so I was having the kids come out here and harvest sassafras branches to give to the little goat. And she was doing better. They gave her sassafras branches, and 2 days later she was dead. A day or two after that, I noticed this happening. So what happened was, and this is purely speculative, but I'm almost 100% sure this is what happened. Our electric company, see, there's the electric wires, there's the dead stuff. Either they came out or they hired someone to come out and spray weed killer on these weeds underneath our power lines. And I understand that. They want to keep the power lines clear. My problem with this is, number one, they did not ask permission to spray poison on my property. And look, there's my driveway, there's the road, and the dead goes all the way up to here. So they came this far onto my property to spray poison. So first of all, they didn't ask permission, but what's even more disturbing to me is that they did not inform us that they did it. Now, anyone knows, once weed killer is sprayed, it takes a couple of days for the plants to show that they're sick, and then it takes a week or so for them to come into this state. And we fed what we thought was perfectly good sassafras branches. See, like, here's a sassafras tree. Here's one. Right next to it is another one that's dead. It wasn't even near the road. This is where we were gathering sassafras branches from. And now our goat is dead. They sprayed all the way down this side too of the road. You can see the dead in there. And I'm just really, really upset about it. Another thing that's very disturbing to me is that my daughter Olivia and her cousin Lydia oftentimes would come out here to the end of the road, sit on that rock, pick sassafras leaves and chew on the ends of them, because sassafras is not poisonous. Sassafras kind of has a nice taste to it. I used to chew on sassafras when I was a kid. Thank God they did not chew on any of this poisoned sassafras, or my children, my daughter and my niece, would be sick or dead. I wrote an email complaining to my electric company. I attached pictures of this, told them what happened to my goat. what could have happened to my child, and I've yet to hear anything back from them. But I just wanted to share this. I wanted to document it on film, that this is what happened. And I know that this is why my goat, or my dad's goat, died. And it's really upsetting to me. So we've been living here for 23 years. My parents have owned this property for over 50 years. And this is the first time they've ever sprayed poison. So it's not like it's something we were used to seeing, or, you know, had ever happened in the past that we needed to watch for. I just wanted to share that. It's kind of been heartbreaking for us. But what do you do? I'll walk back over to the chicks and let you look at them one last time, so I can end this video on a more happy note. Thanks a lot for watching, friends. And be looking for my chick update for next week. We'll talk to you later.